Hi again. It's been some time since we've seen you. That's usually a good thing, though. Alright. Well, how are you feeling? Any better since the last time? Okay. Well, the last time that you were here, it was for an emergency visit to clear out a chemical exposure to your eyes, correct? Not just to your eyes, but also to your respiratory. Okay, your eyes were the primary focus, though. Alrighty. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say your overall health is today? Okay. And how would you say that your general health has been over the last couple of weeks as you've been recovering? Have you noticed any ill side effects, difficulties distinguishing taste, sensitivity to sound or light, different exposures that would ordinarily not cause you to get congested or coughed up? Alrighty. And have you smoked in the time that you've been recovering? Okay. Okay. What about wearing contacts? Great. Any other sensitivities or abnormalities that you are unaware of? Well, not unaware of, but that you suspect might be a side effect that previously may not have been anything alarming. Smell? Okay. Are you smelling unusual fragrances? Is it when you expect to smell something a certain way and it's different? And give me an example of something you've noticed. Mustard. You know, it's actually very common anytime that there is damage to sensory, I don't want to say sensory glands, but your sensory interpretation in the brain. Scent and taste are often quoted as sometimes taking on the taste or smell of mustard or vinegar. Yeah, I've known a couple of people that have had head trauma, and food has been difficult for them afterwards because they either lose their sense of taste or it becomes an entirely different experience. Okay. Well, this cranial nerve exam is going to focus on a couple of those senses that may have been affected by the chemical exposure. So what I'd like to start with is just some basics. I'd like to listen to your respiratory system. Okay, I'm going to place this on your left side. Go ahead and take a deep breath in for me. Breathe in. And again. Okay. Gonna reach around to your back here. Go ahead and breathe in for me, okay? Alright. And on the other side, go ahead and breathe in for me. Now when you're taking deep breaths, do you feel any restriction? Okay. Gonna take your blood pressure. Just make some notes. Give me your arm, please. Okay, is that too snug? Okay. I'm trying to relax. Have you felt abnormally stressed lately? Alrighty. It's a little bit high. But you've been dealing with a little bit of stress. And on top of that, an injury, so that's expected. How are your sleeping patterns? Do you normally sleep a predictable amount of time? Is there a schedule that you normally have to keep? And how many times would you predict that you wake up in your normal sleeping pattern? Do you take any naps during the day? Okay. One of the most common side effects we see with any kind of head trauma, at least one of the cranial senses, is lack of smell or a struggle to smell a certain fragrance the way it's intended to, or at least the way that your brain recognizes it. So I am going to introduce you to a couple of fragrances that are familiar. And I would like you to tell me what you believe the smell is. Okay, first one. Okay. And the second one. Take your time. And the third one. And one more. Hmm? Okay. Your scent, or your perception of scent, is a little bit off. And what was it that you had eaten that you believe does not taste the same way you remember it tasting? Okay. Let's take a look at your eyes. Last time that we had looked at your eyes, it was right after the chemical exposure. And so they were very swollen. I'd like you to have a look at the side here, and I'm going to come in from your right, and I just want to take a look at your pupil constriction. Is that tender? Okay. Okay, then. To the side. If you don't mind, take a look up for me. It's not too much. I'd like you to take a look at the pen. And I would like to have you follow this with your eyes, but don't move your head. feel my fingers, and I'm going to bring them in closer. Look straight at my nose, and then I want you to tell me when you can see my fingers, okay? Okay, we're going to do one at a time. Now it's okay if I touch your face around your eye. I'd like to lift your eyelid a little bit and see how the swelling has reduced and any kind of inflammation that might still be there, if there's any debris. If it's easier for you, go ahead and look down for me. I know that your eyes can always be a very sensitive area, and having someone pull on your eyelashes and eyelids is not always a very comforting technique. Have you been having a lot of eye discharge? Not really. Okay. Well, I guess that's always a good thing, right? Okay, that's good. I'm going to lift and look, okay? The next part is also a little bit unpleasant. I would like to get a sample of the discharge that is still remaining in your eye and to do some testing on that to see whether or not there's still any chemical residue. If there's an excessive buildup of sodium or proteins in your eye discharge, that can sometimes be a side effect of other chemical inducing exposures. So I'm going to have you look over to this side here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to very gently and quickly move this along the bottom of your waterline, but I'm going to do it very gently so it shouldn't be too irritating, okay? Just hold still for me and try not to blink. Same with the other eye. I want you to look over in that direction, okay? Okay. Now that we got those samples, some of the peripherals that we're going to test for are going to be your interpretation of sensation, alright? So there's a couple of different items that I'm going to touch your face with, and I would like you to tell me whether or not those textures in various areas are either soft, hard, or if you can't tell, okay? And those items are going to range from a very soft makeup brush. It's just polyester fur, but it's very, very soft. It's got a broad surface, basic cotton swab, and these are neither a hard surface, but they are fairly precise. A eyebrow comb. It's a little bit bristly, but has a unique texture that is very distinct from the others. And then the pinching test. And what this is going to do is pinch areas of your skin very lightly. nothing that's going to cause any discomfort, but it is going to be a very distinct sensation in comparison to the others. Okay? I'd like you to close your eyes for me if you don't mind. Okay, this is going to be the first item. I'm just going to rub this along the top of your brow. Your other brow. Okay. That's the brush. Okay, I'm going to run this down your nose. And there's no distortion in that sensation, correct? Or at least not as much as you can remember. Okay, along your jawbone, how about that area? And on your other side. Okay, so the brush feels normal. Okay. Right above your brow. And on the other side. How about on your cheek here? On your other side. Nose. And your chin. Soft. Good. Okay, the third item. I guess that one right away, the Q-tip. Okay, how about on your cheek here? And you can feel that it's a precise yet soft texture, right? And how about on this cheek? And your chin? How about on your neck here? Ticklish? Okay. Alright, and the last item. You probably know what this is. I want to very gently pinch certain areas of skin. And this is to just give a very different sensation, but it's not going to be hurtful. If it does hurt, though, let me know. Under normal circumstances, it should not be. just pinch the top of your ear. Not gonna hurt. And then on the other ear. Good. Good. So are those sensations the same as you believe they were prior to the chemical exposure? One last thing before we go. We're going to draw just a little bit of blood to see whether or not there's any toxicity in your blood. We're not going to take that much, just a little bit. So please put out your arm. And put a tourniquet around your bicep. Just put a little bit of pressure here. Okay. Do you mind making a fist for me and pumping your fist just a little bit? Okay. I'm going to clean the area here. Take a sterile syringe. Put your needle on and go ahead and pump your fist for me real tight. You feel a slight pinch. Breathe in for me and out. Not too bad, right? Just going to draw about 10 milliliters. There we go. Alright, you can release your grip. And just go ahead and bend your arm up. I want you to hold it in this position once I put the cotton pad in place. Alright. You did very good. What I'd like to do over the next couple of days, with your permission, is just to monitor your sensations and any other obvious signs of taste or scent being disrupted. And in the meantime, we're going to send this blood off to toxicology to see whether or not there's any longer-term side effects. With taste and fragrance, although they are very common, with head injuries, they can be very annoying. So one of the best things that you can do is to eat a palette of very natural flavors. If you have any kind of brain damage or any kind of toxic interference, unfortunately, it's not going to go away overnight. But usually with citrusy flavored items, orange juice, grapefruit, lemon, lime, those tend to be some of the most distinct palettes that our taste buds and our sense of smell can pick up. So eating those will give you a good baseline to get back to familiar territory, hopefully. And if there is any toxic interference, the good news is that we'll be able to usually see that within your blood and also within the samples that we've pulled from your tear ducts. So if there is something else going on, then we'll try our very best to flush it. Alright. Well, I hope this wasn't too terribly unpleasant for you. We'll keep monitoring you and see you maybe in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Keep me posted if anything changes.